Welcome to Healthy Births, Happy Babies, where we share tips, tools, and stories grounded in natural childbirth and parenting principles, so that instead of feeling overwhelmed and confused during this exciting time in your life, you feel safe, supported, and empowered in your childbirth and parenting journey. And now, here's your host, Dr. Jay Warren.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Healthy Births, Happy Babies. I am Dr. Jay Warren. I'm the Family Wellness Chiropractor and the Wellness Care Coordinator here at the CAP Wellness Center. And today we have our very own Willow Buckley, who's going to be sharing information about her brand new book that just came out just a few weeks ago now, which is called How to Conceive Naturally and Have a Healthy Pregnancy After 30. It's available on Amazon. It's available in all the local and national bookstores. And she's going to walk us through some highlights of that book that's going to be able to help you right away. But before we get into that, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, the CAP Wellness Center. The CAP Wellness Center in Encinitas, California, has assembled an incredible team of fully certified holistic healthcare professionals that offer the very best in prenatal and postpartum wellness services. We offer acupuncture, chiropractic, massage, yoga, lactation support services, and a wide variety of birth education classes to ensure that you are fully able to experience the power of birth. And I also wanted to take a moment to acknowledge a really exciting milestone that we reached here on the Healthy Births, Happy Babies podcast. And that's the last week we surpassed the 10,000 download mark. And I'm just really happy to see that this message is spreading so quickly. We've only been podcasting now for less than 3 months, and to go to that level so quickly really is just gratifying, but it is a testament to you listening, you sharing, you spreading the word to the people that you care about, that you want to have this information in their hands. And so all of the ratings and reviews that we're getting on iTunes are phenomenal. The Facebook acknowledgments are just fantastic. It really helps us keep moving forward and inspiring us to bring you more content so we can help you bring these babies into the world more healthily and safely, and for you to be that way as well during your pregnancy and in the postpartum. So heartfelt thank you to all of you for that. So let me go ahead and introduce Willow to you, and then we can switch right over to our conversation. Willow Buckley is a certified classical homeopath, a labor doula, and a prenatal yoga teacher. She first combined her holistic interests with her medical science studies while earning a Bachelor of Science in Neuropsychology from the University of California, Santa Barbara. Continuing her search and passion for a whole healing approach, Willow ventured into homeopathy, where she's helped families and individuals of all ages handle everything from anxiety and depression to morning sickness and sore throats. She's a fervent proponent of the body's power to naturally heal itself and infuses nutrition with real food into her practice. She's also the co-author of a new book, How to Conceive Naturally and Have a Healthy Pregnancy After 30. Willow lives in Encinitas, California, and with her husband, Marcus, a writer and a Montessori educator, and their children, Grayson and Emerson. So let's jump right into the conversation and switch over to our conversation with Willow. All right, Willow, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Jay?
I'm doing so good, and I'm really excited to talk to you about your new book. This is quite an endeavor that you have put together along with Krista, and I want to jump right into that. But first, I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
And let's have you start off. I just read your bio for our listeners, but share a little bit more about yourself and how you got interested in this topic in the birth world, and then we'll be able to talk about your book.
Yeah, definitely. Everything in my business did end up womb to world at some point. And I think it was really just always being guided as more in the science background in college, engineering to neuropsychology, and then homeopathy found me. And as treating more and more children, we were taught to really look at the mother and her pregnancy, and even before she got pregnant, what that healthy state was like for her mentally and physically. And so I really decided, how am I going to, harness the health of this child that I keep seeing over and over again in my practice, without starting at the beginning. So I really became a labor doula just to get in to the birth world and see whether it worked for me. And I fell in love with it. It was just phenomenal. I love everything about pregnancy and preconception and labor and birth, and just the beauty, the journey, and to be able to support women now throughout that has really just flourished and fed me so much, and I learned so much from every single one of my clients.
That's fantastic. And obviously, you are an author now, and you have this book that's out. It's called How to Conceive Naturally and Have a Healthy Pregnancy After 30. So tell us more about how that grew out.
So this, of course, out of necessity, things are birthed. And this was when I was preparing with my husband. We were going to conceive later that year, or at least start trying. And we were starting our conception cleanse, basically, our preconception cleanse, really trying to clean out our body and make sure that we were in tip-top shape. And I went to, of course, my go-to nutritionist and dear girlfriend, Ldquo, of the whole journey, to really find, all right, where's the book that has what to do for cleansing, what to eat with each week and trimester as baby grows, so you're nourishing both baby and mom equally. Where is this and this and this? Because I pull from blogs, or I pull from different books or different authors, but nothing was really all-encompassing. And she looked at me and said, let's write it. And we laughed, and 4 years later, our labor of love has made it to the bookshelves. So it's really amazing. And at the same time, what I think really made it so perfect is in Krista's practice. It wasn't her specialty with infertility, but everyone started coming with her with these unexplained infertility issues. That's what they were told. And she said, let's work with it, because if you clean up the body, it will clean itself up. Hormone balance, gut balance, and her clients were getting pregnant left and right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, one of the things in reading through your book and preparing for this interview is the concept that you guys put out of the 5-trimester approach. The fourth trimester is something that's somewhat new for moms, understanding that after birth, there's this whole, other gestation going on. But you bring out the 5-trimester approach. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the fourth trimester has been around a little bit. That's why swaddling, Happy's baby on the block, all these things really kind of nurture for that latter 3 months after baby arrives. But it seems to be more and more forgotten, or less focus on the body before you conceive. So the preconception phase is really the first trimester in our eyes, and one of the most important. And the reason we look at it is because it's kind of like tilling the soil before you plant a seed. And if you have this really great nourished soil, then that seed is going to thrive and grow to its full potential. And we look at the body the same way. So it's actually the sperm and the egg take roughly 90 days, 72 days to 120 days to fully mature and form. So you've got a good 3 months of cleansing and preparing that you want to utilize to really get the best quality of that sperm and egg. And with that is epigenetics, this new science that's really emerging that shows that we can change our genetic makeup and how our cells respond to certain genes for our future generation. So it's this fantastic, fascinating science that allows us to know that what we eat, what we do beforehand can actually change what our children's health are going to be like in the future. Not just when they're born, but it's going to actually add a reduction in risk of adult chronic disease.
And it's really this whole field of epigenetics, while it's not completely brand new, it's coming more to the mainstream and really empowering people to not just be a victim to their genes, saying, oh, I got a bad gene from mom, so I just got to, dealt with the hand that I've been dealt, or play the hand that I've been dealt. But tell us more about what you've been learning and how you guide people in this book in the first chapters around that preconception.
Right. I think you're so right with that victimization. I mean, how often do we say or hear oh, looks like they got the bad ankles from you, or watch out for the bad heart on your side of the family. Yeah. So really what we do is when we're looking at the preconception phase, we're looking at what to give the body to nourish it and what to remove, so that might be what might be making it sick. And when you do those things, you find this great harmony and balance within the body where your gut is strong, it's your main immune system, your hormones are balanced, and then you're thriving so that these genes that once were thought to be permanently on or off can actually switch the other way in the different direction. And it's going to lead to a healthier pregnancy. I mean, anytime that you decide to go do something and you prepare for it, it makes it a lot easier. So if you're already on the health and wellness of preconception, once you are pregnant, it's going to be like seamless and a lot easier to maintain if you have the ability to as well. So with our book, we really like to focus on a couple different things. One is if you're having infertility problems or you aren't sure if you're going to have any fertility problems, definitely take control of this 12-week cleanse that we put together. It is an amazing preconception cleanse. It's palatable. It's simple. We lay it out so that each mom and dad, because dads also are part of about 40 to 50% of infertility, and it's usually unknown until after men and women are trying for 6 months or longer. So if you harness this cleanse, take care of it beforehand, you've already known that, okay, maybe you were going to have problems, but you took care of it in the beginning. And there's one huge part that we see is MTHFR. This is a genetic mutation. So I'll say it again, MTHFR. And this is for women if they notice they're getting pregnant, but they're having multiple miscarriages. And this is where folate versus folic acid comes in. So they can't process folic acid, which if you're having a synthetic or not such a great prenatal that you're taking, you really need to make sure it's made with folate or food-based, because you're not absorbing it in the small intestine. They're processing the folic acid through the liver. We're getting a little too sciencey here, I know, but basically MTHFR, you want to get tested for that, male and female, just in case if you are struggling with miscarriages, because this could be a huge game changer where all you need to do is switch to a folate supplement, and that could be a game changer.
For males too.
For males too, they could be MTHFR. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's both when you get tested. Yeah, and it's getting guys on board. We have wonderful sections in here on how to, get that meat and potatoes guy to not think kale is too hippie and still a good part of their diet. Because, we all have our stigmas with with diet at some point.
Right, yeah. I noticed one of your chapters called Becoming a Super Dad is just for us guys.
Just for you guys, because it takes two, and they're getting half of your chromosomes,
right?
Genes, so we want to really power you up as well. The other thing too is with the preconception. So we really do have a big part on fertility and for women over 30, because it's the term geriatric, mature. Like there's just way too many things that are negative regarding getting pregnant once you reach your 30s. This biological clock stigma. And we are just totally about empowerment and knowing that you can have just as healthy of a pregnancy in your 30s, late 30s, even early 40s, if you take care of your body just like a 20-year-old.
Right. I mean, so many women at 35 are placed into an at-risk pregnancy just by virtue of being 35. And it is very insulting for the women that hear that. It's
extremely insulting. At 35, you're kind of in your prime.
Right.
It's like, I'm 37. I had my babies, and it's I feel great. And I've had clients that are 38, 39. Their labs are coming back better than most 20-year-olds. They're looking amazing.
Nice. So is there anything more you want to talk about preconception before we move into post-conception?
Yeah, it's I'll just give a quick simple thing in terms of what to remove. So we are looking to remove, sugar, caffeine, soy, environmental toxins, and alcohol. Simple things that sound atrocious to take away all at once, but we find ways to make it livable and wonderful recipes and ways to exchange it in your diet so that you're not feeling like you're starving or you're eating nothing but bland rice and broth. Because food is fun, and when you do it right, you're going to feel so amazing. You're not going to miss those things.
Right. Because so often women maybe aren't that aware of their nutrition before going into conception. It's almost like after the fact, they find out they're pregnant, then they stop drinking alcohol, then they're cleaning up their diet, right?
Right. So, and honestly, you know what? If we don't always get the pleasure of being able to cleanse this much before. Sometimes babies are ready to come into this world when they're ready to come, and boom, we're pregnant. Great. The other thing, it's a concept, it's just like epigenetics, but the term is fetal programming, and it's how we can segue into once you're pregnant. Congratulations, it's so exciting. Fetal programming is actually just like epigenetics, but looking at while you're pregnant, meaning what mom eats, the nutrients she provides herself and baby while she's pregnant can still change and add to that reduction of adult chronic disease when their child is older.
And that it really is kind of the second, I would say middle third of your book is around like trimester by trimester, and it's really a how-to guide.
It is a how-to guide. We want it to be a pregnancy guide for empowerment and tools for women to, to use throughout pregnancy. So as baby's developing, we look at the first trimester, the brain is developing. So if we're already on a good folate supplement, so that's going to help with the neural tube develop, and that's why everyone's all about folic acid. Folic acid in the first trimester is omega-3 fatty acids. They are really amazing in the first trimester. So fish oil or eating healthy wild fish. There's studies that show those omega-3s that you're providing for baby, because we don't make those on our own, actually increases IQ. So that brain development in that first trimester is all of a sudden some omega-3 supplements and making sure you're getting some nice, wild fish, some salmon in your diet can give you a smarter child. It sounds phenomenal, right? Like, how can we do this? But there's studies, and it's simple. And so I always look at it as moms where there's so much pressure to do everything so right. So I always look at it as you take the few things you can and you run with them. You learn what you did today and you go with it, not what you didn't know yesterday or in previous pregnancies or anything else. You just do what you know today.
Right. Just like if a woman wasn't able to do all this cleansing before conception, you can't lament that in the past. You just pick up today and then move forward and add things in.
And it's just going to continue, right? As parenting, we have a 4-year-old and we're like, oh, why didn't we do that when they were 2? It's like we could do that all day long throughout the rest of our lives as parents, and we don't want to dive down that guilt path.
Right.
So we're all about empowering of what can we do now.
Good. And going through those chapters, I mean, it really is like weeks by weeks, like everything you can, prepare yourself throughout the pregnancy, but then also like getting ready for delivery and then postpartum.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Pregnancy, we lay it out so that you have, for all those ailments, those fun gifts of pregnancy, morning sickness, leg cramps, whatever it may be, and we have homeopathic remedies, alternative remedies, ways to prevent them or get rid of them if they occur. And week by week, what baby is, utilizing from mom so that mom has enough materials in there for baby to take and enough so she's not depleted. And then we prep into delivery and postpartum. I really want to educate in this book, and Krista does, with what are your options? What does that look like? What is a doula? What are the things you can do? And then we don't go so much into a birthing book because I think there's amazing ones out there, but we skip into how to prepare for postpartum. All of a sudden now you have baby, they're home. What do? Did your diet just go down the drain? No, you want to keep yourself vibrant and healthy for baby. You might be having less sleep. You're breastfeeding, hopefully, if that's easily available for you. And simple things, whether to keep your home quiet and not filled with a bunch of people, meal trains, recipes, supplements, ways to nourish that amazing time so you can be the most present with your baby. And we go over placenta encapsulation, which is a huge hormone balance personal cocktail, we kind of like to call it. Mm-hmm. So that women can, if it's new to them, get exposed to it and really explain to them that it's not as, nature channel as it sounds for so many who aren't familiar with, this community of more natural birthing and postpartum. So, and really lay it out what that looks like in terms of providing yourself with that kind of balanced identical hormone cocktail.
Yeah. I mean, it was a new concept. Effie, we did placenta encapsulation after the birth of our son, and it was a new concept that our doula exposed us to, and it made a huge difference. I mean, just hearing the story of like, all right, what is it? Learning about it, it's like, oh, we want that.
Yeah, it really does. All of a sudden, I think when you really hear about it and understand it, you go, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to risk wishing I had done it.
Sure.
It's like I tell people, any of my labor doula clients, I'm like, go to the chiropractor. You don't want to be in the middle of labor going, kind of wish I would have done that.
Right.
Just go do it.
Right. Well, and that's part of what I think this book really provides a person is for dads as well, but for moms to really kind of look through a guide there so they have that information so that it's less likely for on down the line, oh, I wish I'd done that. Oh, I should have implemented that. I mean, there's no way, as you said, there's no way you could have 100% of the things done there, but this guide can really allow a person to jump into topics that they might not have known about on their own.
Yeah, we really try and cover it all, from humorous moments to really serious ones. And we want to support. I also like to tell people too, in this book, we're all about trying to conceive naturally and doing everything you can, but sometimes that's just not what nature has intended. And we still want this cleanse to be for those who are getting IVF or IUI or any of those procedures, because again, that's an emotional stress, a physical stress, and if you can nail it on the first round, you're really going to save yourself, I think, a lot of unfortunate time. Yeah, if you're doing round and round. So this is for everyone. It's for those who are 20 years old or 40 years old. You can't go wrong.
Right. I mean, it's really a prep to, one for you as a woman to be as healthy as possible throughout the pregnancy and really to give your kid a leg up, bringing these babies into the world with an advantage. Yeah.
We're really looking at trying to, mold the future generation to have less of this chronic disease. I mean, we're looking at the diabetes and the obesity and the amount of predisposition that all these children are coming into this world with, and we have the ability to eradicate it.
Right. Well, and your book is definitely helping that. So tell us, or tell our listeners how they can get the book. I mean, I know I got your book on Amazon, so is that the only place that it's available?
No, it's on the shelves here in all the Barnes & Nobles, so right here in Encinitas even, you can go find it, and most Barnes & Nobles are going to have it on shelf. So if you want to go to your bookstore, feel free. Amazon is a great way to get it, very convenient. And then Barnes & Noble Online, iBooks, and then our website, howtoconceivenaturally.com. You can find more information, read success stories. You can find some of our press and media, what articles we've written. And then both my website and Krista's website are linked on there. So thewholejourney.com and balancingyourhealth.com, where you can branch off and find more information, mostly on nutrition through Krista, and then everything womb to world over on my site, plus a lot of homeopathy and alternative medicine.
Great. And I'll include all of those links as well for you listeners in the show notes if you're listening here in iTunes, but then also if you're listening on the capwellnesscenter.com website, we'll have the links there too, so you'll be able to reach out and get this book. So with our last couple minutes here, I was like to finish with a couple questions. One is for the moms, and what's the biggest take home that you'd like moms listening to this to get from what we've talked about today?
So this is general. This is not just what we talked about, but it's overall period for moms. And you're doing a great job. Every mom, they're doing their best and they're doing a great job. And second is it takes a village. Don't say no to the help that's around you. Utilize it, because saying yes actually makes you stronger. And utilizing the village is just going to nourish you and your children, your whole family.
Yeah, we really were not designed to do this alone.
No, really not at all.
Village, yeah.
People isolate themselves, and that island is not fun.
No, not at all.
We've been there.
Right. And so what about for the babies? If there's a baby listening to this podcast through mommy's belly, or maybe baby's already here, and what pearl of wisdom would you like to whisper into their little ear for them to take to heart?
Everything is wonder. Everything. Stay in that wonder, because that's how kids see everything. They know more coming in than we do, and we just got to keep that alive. So if that baby's listening, just stay curious, keep everything as much of a wonder as you can in your mind and in your soul, because that's where intrinsically you're just, everything is happening, and you're going to be guided beautifully if you stay in that place.
Well, that's beautiful, Willow. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being on the podcast and sharing all of your knowledge here.
Jay, thank you so much for all that you do in putting this together. It is so appreciated.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Well, everyone, the name of the book is How to Conceive Naturally and Have a Healthy Pregnancy After 30. It's with Willow Buckley and Krista Orecchio. Go out and get it. You have all the links that are there. And, Willow, we didn't even have a chance really to go into your expertise of homeopathy. Maybe we could have you back at it for another episode to share your knowledge on that topic.
I would love to pop out some remedies to get all those women in some nice, comfortable places.
Yes, that's always helpful. Well, thank you again so much, Willow.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care.
Thank you for joining us today. For more information about this episode and other natural childbirth and parenting topics, please visit us at capwellnesscenter.com or message us on our Facebook page with any questions you might have. We here at the Cap Wellness Center look forward to helping you and your family be as happy and healthy as you can be.